Morning everyone. Today I, Jyotika Dudeja of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru College Department of Mathematics will teach you something about groups and subgroups. First of all, we'll start with the topic of algebraic structure. What is algebraic structure? A non-empty set G equipped with one or more binary operations, or we can say compositions, defined on it is called an algebraic structure. For example, n plus, r plus, cross, etc. are all algebraic structures. Basically, if star is a binary operation on G, then G star is an algebraic structure. However, n minus is not an algebraic structure. Next is a definition of groups. A group G star is a set G together with binary operation star satisfying the following properties. First property is closure property. What is closure property? If we combine two elements A and B with the binary operation star, then the resultant element should be in the set itself. And if it is in the set, then we say it is closed under the binary operation star. Second property is associative property, or we can say it as associative law. The operation star is associative, that is A star B star C should be equals to A star B star C for all ABC belonging to G. Basically, we show that the order in which we combine the element doesn't matter. In whichever order we combine the element, the resultant is same, then we say it satisfies the associative property. Third is existence of inverse. It should be existence of identity element. In this property, we find an element such that if we combine it with any element of the set, then the resultant element is the element itself. That is, we need to find an identity element E in G such that E star A is equals to A star E is equals to A for all A belonging to G. That the resultant will be A itself. Then the next property is existence of inverse. Each element A belonging to G has an inverse element A inverse such that if we combine it with the element, then it gives the identity element. And if all these four properties are satisfied, then we say our G set becomes a group with respect to our binary operation star. Next thing is abelian group or commutative group. A group G star is said to be abelian or commutative if, in addition to the above four postulates, or we can say the properties, the following property is also satisfied. Which property is it? It is commutative property. Commutative property says that in the order in which we combine two elements doesn't matter because the resultant is always same. If it is same, then we say that it satisfies our commutative property, and our group becomes abelian group, or we can say it is a commutative group. Or basically, in number form, we can say A star B is equals to B star A for all A comma B belonging to G. Next is finite and infinite groups. If the number of elements in the group G are finite, then the group is called a finite group, otherwise it is an infinite group. So basically we just need the number of elements in the group. If we can count them, then we say we have a finite group with us. And if the number of elements are uncountable, then we say that it is an infinite group. So next, a group is always non-empty. So basically, when we have to prove a set to be a group, the first thing we show that it is non-empty. Otherwise, it won't be a group. So first thing we need to show is that a group is non-empty. Next definition is order of a group. The number of elements in a finite group is called the order of the group. So order of a group is always of a finite group because we can calculate or we can add the number of elements in a finite group. And if we have an infinite group, we just say that it has an infinite order. We don't need to calculate it. So for a finite group, we can calculate the number of elements, therefore we can find the order of the group. And the order of the group is denoted by O of G. Next, now since we know the definition of what is a group, next step is to solve some examples. Since through examples we get more clear, we don't get confusion. Let's start. First example is of 0 and our binary operation is addition. It's a very trivial example in which we have just taken one element in our set, which is 0. We need to show all these four properties to show that it is a group. First property is closure property. What does closure means? That we need to combine two elements and the resultant element is again in the group. If we combine two elements, for that we need two elements, but in this set we just have one element. So vacuously it satisfies our first property, that is closure property. Second property is associative property. Again, we in this property we need to take three elements. Since we just have one element, we take all the three elements as 0, and if we combine three elements in whichever order we combine 0, it will remain 0, so our associative property is also satisfied. The third property is existence of identity. Identity is an element with which we can combine any element and it gets the element itself. So 0 is the only element and we combine 0 with 0, we get 0. So 0 itself is the identity element. And last but not the least, our property is existence of inverse. We need to find the inverse of each element. Since the set has only one element 0, so inverse of 0 will be 0 only. So all the four properties are satisfied, so our 0 set becomes a group with respect to addition. Next example is multiplication and the set is minus 1 and 1. So now we have taken a set which has two elements, minus 1 and 1. Let's start with our first property. First property is closure property. Closure property in which we combine two elements and we see whether the resultant element in the set is in the set or not. So if we combine minus 1 and 1 with respect to multiplication, then we get minus 1, and obviously it is in the set, so closure property is there. And next property is associative property. Associative property, we need to take three elements and we show that in whichever order we combine these elements, the resultant will be same. Since there are two numbers vacuously, it is always true. We don't need to show that thing. Next thing is existence of identity. Identity will be here, it will be 1, as if we multiply 1 with minus 1 we get minus 1, and if we multiply 1 with 1 we get 1. So when multiplying 1 with any number of the set, we are getting the number itself. So here we will get our identity as 1. The next property is our existence of inverse. So we need to find the inverse of each of elements. So first of all, we find the inverse of 1. So inverse of 1 will be 1 itself, because if we multiply 1 with 1, we get identity element 1. Next is inverse of minus 1. So if we multiply minus 1 with minus 1, then we get our identity element 1. So the inverse of minus 1 will be minus 1. So here we have shown all the four properties. Since all the four properties are satisfied, therefore this set is now a group. Next example is integers with addition. Now let's take the set of integers. What is integers? If we take all the natural numbers with 0 and their negatives, that is our integers. Now we'll show whether it is a group or not. Let's start with our first property, which is closure property. If we add two integers, obviously we'll get an integer, so the closure property is always satisfied, so it is closed under addition. Next property is associative. Associative is one of the properties which is always satisfied under the addition for integers. Next is existence of identity. So identity in this set will be 0, because if we add any number with 0, we'll get the number itself. So 0 is our identity in the set integers. Next is existence of inverse. So we need to find inverse of each element. Generally, if we'll add, we say a plus a inverse, and is equals to inverse plus a should be identity. Here identity is 0. So any number, what should be the number which should be added to any number that it gets 0? So it should be the negative of the number. So the inverse of any number will be minus of that number. So if we say inverse of 5 should be minus 5, inverse of 6 should be minus 6. So the negative of any number would be would be the inverse of that number. So we get inverse of each and every element of our integers except 0, because negative of 0 is not there obviously, but the inverse of 0 will be 0 itself, because if we add 0 to 0 then we get 0, our identity. So each element of integers has an inverse. So all the four properties are satisfied. Therefore, integers with respect to additions forms a group. The next example is integer with multiplication. So let's see whether it forms a group or not. First of all, we'll see the property. We'll see the property, closure property. So closure property is if we combine any two elements, the resultant should be in the integers itself. So obviously if we multiply any two integer, we'll get an integer. So it is closed under multiplication. Next is associative. Associative is the property which is always satisfied. So doesn't we don't need to show for each and every number whether it is satisfied or not, just that it will be satisfying. Next, third property is existence of identity. So any number multiplied by 1 will give the number itself. So here our identity element will be 1. Next is existence of inverse. So existence of inverse is any number should be multiplied to such a number such that it gives 1. So if we take example and we take a number 5, so what should be the number that should be multiplied with 5 so that we get 1? It should be 1 by 5, but 1 by 5 is not an integer. So since it's not an integer, therefore it will not satisfy the existence of inverse property. Therefore integers with respect to multiplication won't form a group. So these are my some examples for my group definition. So today we'll be doing till here only. We have studied today the definition of group and some of its examples. I hope you have understand this. Thank you so much.